If you're anything like me, you became obsessed with Deltarune after the release of Chapter 2 in September of 2021. And personally me, maybe you too, haven't stopped watching analysis/theory videos to this day. Even potential gameplay challenges of Undertale or Deltarune. Deltarune has always meant a lot to me, as it has meant a lot to many others, as well as Undertale. And with it being around the corner on June 5th, I thought it would be fun to look back at old memories in between chapters 2 and 3 to see all the great theories and analysis the community has created and all the news and how the people reacted to it. A little bit of a life and times video. Now, whether you're like me or not because you have a life or something, let's talk about the life and times between chapter 2 and chapter 3.
It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. Times are pretty good. Times are pretty bad. Mediocre times. Iffy times. So times.
Alright, sorry, let's start for real now. So, let's start with the release of Chapter 2. So, Chapter 2 releases, and everybody plays it. Well, the people who are in the know, at least. And it's loved by all the Undertale and Deltarune fans. And we all regard it as great, because it is great. It's peak, pretty much. And it's better than Chapter 1. A lot of people would agree with me on this statement. I don't think a lot of people think Chapter 1 is better than Chapter 2. And it's really funny and has some of the best characters. And it shows Deltarune has a lot of things to come. And it shows that Deltarune really proves itself here as something that you really want to wait for in the future. You really want to stick there for the whole time. And honestly, it really shows the deep characters, new gameplay things like Giga Queen, like honestly unsettling things like Spamted, and mysterious mysteries like the disappearance of Des, for example. And when Chapter 2 was all over, we had this amazing moment as a cliffhanger to send it off. Now this would spark theories and speculations within the whole community. Again, another cliffhanger at the end of a chapter. And just like Chapter 1, it caused many speculations about Chris and what was happening. People, many as yourself, if you were there, everyone thought this. Chris was the knight. It was pretty plain and simple to see. They opened a dark fountain right in front of us. But similarly, Chapter 1, we all thought Chris was evil because they had a glowing red eye and had a knife. So it's possible that Chris isn't the knight still. It's speculation, really, and not concrete. Personally, I don't think they will be, but it's very possible that they will, and I don't really care either way. I think it'll be written just as well either way. So let's move on to the rest of 2021. For the rest of 2021, Deltarune Chapter 2 was still very fresh. For basically the rest of the year, people were just making content on it, about the game. It just came out, so it was a lot of just gameplay videos from content creators, and people on the internet were just really enjoying the game. However, quickly, a few days after, people discovered the Snowgrave route, quickly after the release, and it got the hype rolling even more, because one of the best things about Undertale was its multiple routes and how fascinating that was for storytelling. So to have a Snowgrave route was really cool, and honestly, something that was just amazing. And this route spread like wildfire, I'll tell ya. All the content creators were putting stuff about it, and they just needed to get all that attention, you know? Because you literally do Frieza fatally kill a classmate in ice, and some people didn't even believe this route existed and thought it was fake, which is hilarious, can I just say. And I think that's exactly what Toby Fox wanted, and it's funny that that came into fruition. However, one notable theory from this time, before 2022, was T-Theory. Now this T-Theory is basically canon. It's not really a theory, but it's really popular and everyone knows it. It's based on the T from an NPC, and it heals certain amounts for different characters depending on which T you give them, which is based on a character. So it's basically how much that person likes that character. Not necessarily romantically, but it can be in certain scenarios, with Noelle getting healed 400 HP. But T-Theory is basically canon because that's pretty much the intention of the T. It doesn't really have a use outside of kind of showing that, honestly. So let's move on to 2022. Now this was the biggest year in between these two chapters, without a doubt. Most news, most events. It was just a cool time, and honestly, this is when all the content creators start to really show their faces. So many content creators you know today definitely showed up, such as Mystic Slime makes a lot of great Undertale challenge videos and some Deltarune ones. Jar Jar J makes some really fun theories, and Andrew Cunningham is really well known in the Deltarune community for his well-known analysis of music and stuff like that. And many other channels. There are a ton of Deltarune channels that you can check out that really sparked in 2022. These channels obviously are known for mostly Undertale Deltarune content, and that really got us over with the excitement and was really tiding us over with what we hoped at the time for the release in chapter 2023 or in early 2024. And there were so many Deltarune analysis videos that I'm sure you've rewatched them over the years, and they are very enjoyable. We had infamous theories like piles of Asriel's dust, and theories on what Chris was doing, and Des, and just everything. We had theories on who Mike was. Was Mike the TV? Probably, although now we know now it's 99% likely to be Tenna. At the time we just knew about Mike, and that's who Spamton talked about. Later on, people really started predicting and analyzing stuff that was going to happen in the future, and that was really the peak for 2022, as at the start. And we got so many speculation. It was a really good time, and it was really funny to see 3 years earlier, like June of 2022, people predicting the official release date or like what would happen in Chapter 3. Even because we had no clue it would be 3 years in between, over 3.5 years between chapters. It's been a really long time. But we're not done with 2022 just yet, because we have a lot of news during this time. In September of 2022, we get our first look at Chapter 3. This was great. Everybody liked to see them. I believe we got to see the green room and some other music files, and one other thing of the castle town. Of course, this really helped the hype of the game stay alive. People were excited to see more Chapter 3 content, and people really analyzed these screenshots and this music as when they were to play and stuff like that. But the biggest thing, without a doubt, in 2022 was the Spamton Sweepstakes, which was this charity event / ARG. Really fun to be there, and we got so much info on Noelle and Deltarune Chapter 3 and Spamton, and I really can't go into it. It would be way too long. People have overanalyzed this stuff. There's like 5-hour videos analyzing everything that went down the Spamton Sweepstakes. It was really cool though, and it gave us a lot of lore teasers on Des and stuff like that, and this definitely really kept that fire burning of Deltarune going into 2023. The hype was still at a high. The sweepstakes caused huge shock waves in the community and was super big, and it even popped up this really popular Deltarune podcast that had 6 episodes called the DeltaCast. You should definitely check it out, where they go over the sweepstakes and they also go over theories connected to the sweepstakes. It was really cool to watch, and it's made by a bunch of different content creators who are very well known now. Now we move on to 2023. This is when it started to slow down a bit. Theories were slowing down, everything was overanalyzed in 2022, and in fact on YouTube, it was kind of funny, in early 2023, you could find people making tier lists of theories as if that would be the end of them before Chapter 3 and 4, which is crazy because that's still like 2 years before they release. However, I do really want to highlight 2 things here, other than news. First notably, Spooky Dude, very well-known creator, makes a lot of theories. I think they were the maker of like Woody Theory, very funny theory that is memed to this day. But they're very impactful theory creator in Deltarune, and they post a lot of theories in 2023. Like one of the only people, like there was a whole list of them when I was scrolling through videos that were made at the time, and they were a majority of them. Secondly, Molly Starr's device theory part 1 came out in 2023, and this is like the biggest Deltarune / Undertale theory. You really should check it out. Personally, I haven't, because I just haven't had the time to, but I feel like a fake fan since I'm pretty sure like literally every Deltarune creator has, or Undertale creator has watched this theory, because it's like massive and really good. And it's quite really funny to look back on this time though, because people were really predicting the release date for early 2024, as well as myself, based on the news that came out. Speaking of that news, we got barely any info up until fall of 2023, where we got info on the new chapters. In the Halloween one, especially, Toby finally officially announced that 3 and 4 would be releasing together, and 5 would come out later. Also, we also got info that Chapter 3 was basically almost done, and Chapter 4 was be a lot more standard, so a lot of the fanbase assumed that would mean it would go by faster. So a lot of people were hoping for mid to late 2024, around that time, or like even early 2024, with the release date of Deltarune. But at the very end of 2023, even though this isn't Deltarune really related, it's Undertale Yellow. This really re-sparked the Undertale/Deltarune community, because I think the release of that fan game really got people to look back into Undertale and Deltarune to really catch up and stuff like that, which Undertale Yellow released in December of 2023, and it's really good. You should really play it yourself. There's a ton of passion put into it. Even though it's like not really fully canon, it's still really good to watch. Early 2024 though was really full of nothing in the Deltarune community. I really searched, and there wasn't a lot of theories created at this time that were really new or interesting of note. So really, it was just people really hoping for each new newsletter and hoping for a release date. I would know because I was one of those people who was just hoping for a release date in one of the 2024 newsletters. And the community would still do predictions on the release date and future chapters. Like, that's about it, though, when it comes to Deltarune videos, early 2024. One thing of note in early 2024, though, was the Valentine's Day. That sparked, like, one theory on who the Valentine's person is. Is it Gaster? Is it the Egg person? Is it Everyman? Or is it literally anyone? We don't know who the mysterious letter is by, but it's fun to speculate a bit. Just a little bit like that. It still buys us time, obviously. Then, by the end of the year, Deltarune was officially announced to come out in 2025. At some point. We didn't get the exact date at this point, but at least everyone knew it was the next year. But this did spark some theories to come out during this time. I saw a lot more videos at the end of 2024 / early 2025. I know it's kind of bridging the gap here, but I think it really because people realized that the time was running out to get their theories out, so people were starting to pump out theories more, because they really wanted to get their piece of the pie in before Deltarune Chapter 3 and 4. One notable mention from 2024 is Cami Borgi. Phenomenal videos, can I say. Super high quality for a relatively new content creator, and it's very entertaining watch. You should definitely check them out. Link will be in the description, as of all the other content creators mentioned in this video. This is where we end off. With Deltarune officially releasing on June 5th, 2025 for $25 USD, which is a great price, by the way. A lot of people thought it would be more than that, including me. The wait is finally over, and I am happy to finally play the new chapters. I will kind of miss this time in between theorizing for chapters, but that'll just between chapters 4 and 5 next, and I can't wait for that time as well. Chapter 3 and 4, I have no doubt in my mind, it will be phenomenal. I think Chapter 3 might be my favorite chapter, just because it seems like it's going to be super unique gameplay-wise, and I think that'll be really cool. And I think Chapter 4 will be good on story. Like, I think we'll get some good story in Chapter 4, not as much in Chapter 3, because, like, I think he said that at some point. These seriously were some, though, barren times in between chapters. So early 2024 to, like, late 2023, it's kind of a nothing burger, and we were just kind of patiently waiting. But let me know if there was anything I missed in this video. I'm really not perfect, obviously. I'm only human, and I'm worried that I did miss a lot. So if there's anything I missed that I should have highlighted, then you should definitely tell me. And I might make a follow-up, because if there's enough to include, then I will make a follow-up to this video, because then obviously it deserves it. Thanks for watching, and I really hope to see you guys in the future when, like, 3 and 4 come out, or even before that. So, bye.